Today we're reading in John chapter 7, verses 37 and 38. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the Scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol and welcome to Uplifting Home. And welcome to day number 4 of our A December with Purpose series. Now we had our first dusting of snow last night, and whoo, don't that make you kind of cozy and warm when you get inside your house and finally are just toasty warm. And but there's a chill in the air still yet, so we're all set up here to make some hot cocoa. Very simple recipe. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that Jeannie from Lead Me to Peace Jeannie is in this collaboration with us, and we'd like to invite anyone else that wants to join. Just let me know and start making videos, and we'll start posting them with our links. And so remember to check Jeannie's videos out. She's doing Vlogmas while I'm doing a December, see, I always forget, a December with Purpose. There we go. Okay, now we made a hot cocoa together a few years back, if you remember, and it is a fantastic, a little bit more complex and complicated, but absolutely worth every effort. It is a orange mint made from the mandarin oranges, and it's absolutely delicious. That video also uses a little bit different technique, so it's very interesting. If you'd like to check that video out, I'll have the link in the description box below. I strongly advise you to go at least glance at it, because I think you're really going to like that recipe as well. This particular recipe is going to be measured out exactly, because I'm counting calories and sodium milligrams. So the whole recipe that we'll be doing here today has 230 calories in it, made exactly how I'm going to make it today, and 136 milligrams of sodium. Now, I am not counting the flavorings, so if you want to count that and add it into your counts, you know, you're welcome to do that. I'm just kind of bypassing those. I don't think it would be, you know, I added just a few extra calories onto the end of it just to take up any of the slack. But if you want to, you can certainly measure out your flavorings and get the exact measurement numbers. So that being said, you need a good size mug, and this one is 12 ounce, because you want enough room for a cup of milk and all your ingredients, and also the whipped cream to go on top. So a large mug, and then you'll need let's talk about this first. This is the unsweetened baker's chocolate. Any brand of unsweetened chocolate is fine. And what I've done, let me show you how I got this product here. On a fine grater, I grate the baker's chocolate. Then I brush away any of the powdery chocolate from both sides of the grater. Then I brush down the sides of the bowl, because this powder will be staticky. After cleaning the excess chocolate from my brush, I go ahead and pour and brush the chocolate onto the center of a piece of waxed paper. And then I clean my brush once more. Choosing a jar that my chocolate powder will fit nicely into, I place a funnel on top and gather up the sides of the wax paper, tap it, clean the funnel with the brush, and then there is our powdered chocolate.
And this can be used in many ways, many recipes, inside recipes, or sprinkled on top of things. And also, of course, can be used for our hot chocolate today. Now, I like to always keep on hand semi-sweet baker's chocolate blocks and also the unsweetened. And today I want as little sugar, as possible, so I'm using the unsweetened. I also like to keep on hand milk chocolate chips and semi-sweet chocolate chips. These chocolate chips can be used in this recipe today as well. You just need to kind of measure them out carefully, count them, and in with the calories if you're doing that sort of thing. And that will be just fine. I've made it this way with the chips, and it works out great. You do need them as small as possible if you can hand chop them. It just makes the melting go a little easier. Okay, so we've talked about our chocolate. Now let's talk about our cocoa powder. We're going to be using cocoa, and I'll give you specific measurements as we add them to the pot. We're going to be using the best quality cocoa powder that you have. Right now, all that I have on hand is this brand that came from our local supermarket. And but I have used all of my high quality cocoa powder, but that's fine. This is going to taste absolutely delicious. Now I put the jar back away, so I'll just have to show you the spoon here. We're also using some honey, very small amount, and again, you can choose how much honey you want to use in yours. We've got 1 cup of whole milk. You can use this is a dairy milk, but you can use whatever type of milk that you choose. We're also going to be using some raspberry extract and some vanilla. Now, you can make this hot cocoa any flavor that you want to, and just make it your own. So I've made it many different flavors over the years. The first thing we're going to do is put all of our ingredients in the pot except for the milk. Okay, so let's do the honey. Now this is 1 teaspoon of liquid honey, or a pure honey. Doesn't have to be liquid because you're going to melt it, but that is 1 teaspoon. I oiled the spoon so it would come out a lot easier. So hopefully that's all out. And then we want to add the 2 teaspoons of the cocoa powder. So this is 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. Now you can use more. I have used up to a tablespoon before, but it just makes it a little stronger. All right, so next in goes, now these are very simple ingredients and it goes quickly. I'm doing a lot of talking here. I apologize, but it's kind of, you guys are my company in my home, right? You're my guest. And so now we're at our finely grated, unsweetened chocolate, okay? So what we want here, let me double check my recipe so I don't say something wrong. We want 1 teaspoon of the finely grated unsweet chocolate. Now I'm out of teaspoons, as you see right there. So I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to measure out, and you can do this heaping teaspoons if you want. It don't have to be exact, but I'm going to put in 2 of those. I'm going to also put in a few drops of the raspberry extract. Don't need much at all. That's very strong. And same with the vanilla. So really all we've done so far is honey, cocoa powder, the finely grated unsweetened chocolate, or you can use any type of chocolate chips or any kind of chocolate that you prefer, and our flavorings. And that's all we've done so far. But I've got something I want to add for an experiment. Never done this before, but I keep hearing how coffee
brings out the chocolate flavor in anything really, really well. So I'm taking my husband's leftover coffee from this morning, and I'm not a coffee drinker, nor do I like the flavor of coffee, but I have been assured that the recipe that you use it in a small amount won't taste like coffee. So I'm going to measure out 1 tablespoon of the coffee. And I'm just going to use one of these teaspoons I have here, I think this one, and just measure that out 3 times. And that will give us our tablespoon. Now I'm just going to give it a good whisk. See, everything is in there except for the milk. So, got some cocoa powder on the stovetop there. So, but I've not turned any heat on yet. I'm just going to whisk it all together. And the coffee is an experiment, a total experiment. I have never tried this before. And so we're going to find out together. I just keep hearing so much about coffee, espresso powder, in chocolate cakes and cookies and all kinds of things. And I thought, well, that's how it's looking. I thought, well, let's try it. Kind of dissolved there a little bit. Now we're going to pour in the milk and give it a good whisk. And again, this is just 1 serving. 230 calories, and I'm counting that a few extra calories there. Whereas our orange mint, which is absolutely delicious, that recipe in that video, it comes to a little like 402 calories, something like that. But I think it's a whole 12-ounce mug though. Okay, so now we're ready to turn on some heat. Before I do that, I'm going to get some of this stuff cleared away so it don't look so cluttered, and I'll be right back when we start to warm it up. I did want to mention though, before I put it away, is the fine grated chocolate. You know, you can make a small jar like this or a large jar and keep it on hand to add to all kinds of things, but especially when you make quick hot cocoa. And I was just wondering, as I was grating it today, if you could do this fine grate in a food processor or even a blender. You just want to make sure that you don't get the chocolate warm. That might cause a problem, but you may very well be able to do it in a food processor, but I've never tried it. So I like to clean as I go, and I don't like things to get too cluttered up, you know, like when we had all the ingredients out. So now it looks much better. We're at much more peace in our mind, so let's get it warmed up. So I've got it on a medium, and I just want to bring it to where you can see steam and that it's a good hot temperature, but not boiling. Okay, it's about there. I turned the temperature up just a little bit, but I kept on whisking it constantly. I want to, now because this is mine, I can test it like that. But you want it to where when you touch it, that it's a little uncomfortable. Because it's going to cool down some as you put it into your mug. Do you see all that steam coming? We don't want it to boil though. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my heat off. And I'm going to test it again. Oh yes. Oh yeah. That is the right temperature. Okay, just like that. That's how it looks, and we have plenty of room there to spare for our whipped cream. So let's get our whipped cream. Now here is our unsweetened whipped cream that we made together yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link that for you as well. And we want 2 tablespoons. Okay, and we do want it measured because we are counting. So, about like that. I'm going to put it in the hot cocoa here, and it's probably going to melt. I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to put that in. Now I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit on top here. Just a little. Here we go. So there it is. I'll bring you around where you can see it a little better. And there she is. Oh, that looks so delicious. I'm going to get me a long-handled spoon to go in there. And we're going to sit down together and have a taste. Okay, here goes. Oh, it's still good and hot. Well, now this definitely tastes like a lighter version of cocoa. So if that's your thing, this will be perfect. And it's simply because we've got whole milk in here and we've got whipped cream. So that's going to give it that really nice creaminess and that extra bonus to a lighter version of cocoa or hot cocoa. And but the reason why, let me get another sip here. It's really good when you get that melted whipped cream there on top. The reason why that this is a lighter version, and thus it's going to feel like a lighter version in your mouth, on your taste buds, and that is because we did not add the butter or the cream, you know, the heavy cream like we added in the video that I was telling you about, the orange mint. That cocoa is just like a really, really special treat, and the flavors are so fabulous. And with those little bits of mandarin orange, oh, it's just a wonder. And then the mint, I was out of vanilla that day and I had to choose something else, and I chose mint, and that mint orange, oh, it's so wonderful. So let's have another drink. This is delicious. Now, I've been making this throughout the summer, and the reason why I have is that, like I said, I can't drink coffee, and I don't particularly like the flavor of coffee because I can't drink it because of such a high caffeine content. But I don't really like the taste of it either. But throughout the summer, I had quite a few health things going on, and I was so exhausted all the time, and the heat just made it worse. So I decided to try to experiment a little bit with having a little chocolate every now and then. And I found that having this version of the hot cocoa mix gave me protein in the milk itself and the cream as well, and also gave me quite a boost of energy from that pure chocolate, the baker's chocolate, and the cocoa powder, of course. But that baker's chocolate, I think, is the key if you need that little bit of extra energy when you use that baker's pure chocolate unsweetened. So it worked well. It worked well throughout the summer, and I loved these flavors, the vanilla with the raspberry. Okay, I've got to say goodbye, as much as I do not want to. I just want to keep you right here with me, but I know your time is very valuable, and I thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to check out any of the collaboration videos in the description box below. Right now it's just Jeannie, but we all love her and appreciate her time. She's a very, very busy And we appreciate her taking out the time in every day that she can to make us a video in the month of December. All right, so love you guys. Come on now, try this out. You're going to absolutely adore it. And the orange mint one as well. Don't forget to check that one out too. All right, love you. Take care. Stay warm. See you next time. See you tomorrow, actually. Bye. I almost forgot to tell you about the tablespoon of coffee we put in here. What happened? What does it taste like? Well, it actually tastes very good. I think it does add to this lighter version of cocoa, making it taste a little bit richer. Does not have a coffee taste, although kind of a aftertaste, little bit of coffee. Not much, not where you're going to go all wild and not like it if you don't care for coffee, because I don't care for coffee. No, it's just a tiny bit. You can kind of just a tiny bit till it's in there. But I forgot to tell you that. Okay, enjoy.